So welcome everyone to St. Olaves and Kent Grammar School information event. So first, let's look what we'll cover as part of today's session. So we'll look at both St. Olaves and Kent Grammar Schools. Originally, this was supposed to be a St. Olaves information event, but a lot of parents asked that if we can cover Kent as well, because it's in the same part of the world. So, we decided to give a few slides on Kent grammar as well. As part of this session, we'll talk about academic rankings, how to choose the right school for your child. We'll talk about exam pattern and exam scoring. We'll discuss key dates for 2025 admission. Then we'll talk about how to prepare for the exam. We'll share some insights into our 2025 program. That is in case you are looking at taking the exam next year. So we have got a very different program for that. We'll devote a slide to that. Finally, we will have some time for Q&A. In case you have any questions which come to you, just put it in the chat. And towards the end of the session, we'll try to take as many of them as possible. Yeah. A copy of this PPT and a recording of this session will be shared with you. I assume a lot of you have come through Eventbrite. So that means Eventbrite has your details, and we'll be sending a copy of the presentation as well as a recording of this session to you via email on Monday. In case you have come direct, then please drop me a message with your email and I'll make sure that the information comes to you as well. Yeah. A small disclaimer. All the information we are providing in this document is based on our research and we are doing this session for free. So we do encourage parents to double check the information, to go to the actual school's website and verify everything. Yeah. Now let's talk about St. Olave's Grammar School first. So St. Olave's Grammar School is located in Orpington, and this is the address in case you're interested. This is the location on Google Maps. In terms of academic ranking, it is one of the top rated grammar school for boys in the country. We follow the Good School Guide ratings, and below is a link to this guide. As I said, this email will come to you with the links as well, so you can have a look at this. The reason we like this ranking is it's organized in a very nice way. It ranks schools by attainment 8 and progress 8 scores. So basically, they take the 8 most important GCSE subjects, and attainment 8 is how students scored in those subjects in GCSEs, and progress 8 is how those students advanced in their time at school. So when they entered that school, what was their level of attainment in those 8 subjects versus when they left school, what was their level of attainment. So it kind of measures the value add the school has done to the child. So we like to do ranking by progress 8 scores. And if you look at St. Olaves ranks 11th in this list out of all the UK grammar schools. But if you look at boys only, it actually ranks number 2 because a lot of the top grammar schools in the country are girls' grammar schools. So if you look at boys only, this is ranked number 2 in this list. So it's one of the best grammar schools for boys in the country. Yeah. Now let's come to the all important question. How do you choose the right grammar school for your child? There are a number of factors. Let's get them all on the screen before we dive into it. So the first and most important, which a lot of parents consider, is obviously academic ranking. So how does the school rank academically? So in the last slide, I showed you the academic ranking of Olive's Grammar School. It ranks 11th overall and second in number of for boys. But there are a lot of other factors which should also be taken into consideration. A lot of parents just go by academic ranking, but that's not the right approach. So let me take you through some other things you should be looking at as well. A very important point is commute. So you need to understand where do you plan to live after getting admission and how long the commute is going to be. We have known parents over the last couple of years who have taken up admission in a school which was like 1.5 hours away from their home, because London traffic also you need to take into account if you're talking about London schools in particular. So they found that the child was spending 1.5 hours in the morning and 1.5 hours in the evening in the bus. Now that's not a good place to be because secondary schools are very intense. So you get a lot of homework. And if you want your child to be in extracurriculars as well, you need that extra time, isn't it? So give commute due weightage. For a lot of parents, it's really important whether the school is a single sex school or a mixed sex school. It's not important to all parents, but for some parents it is. My daughter goes to a grammar school in Buckingham, and we wanted her to be in a mixed sex school. So that was one of our considerations when we were choosing the target school. So if that's important to you, have a look at that as well. School demographics. So what is the mix of students in the school? Is it very polarized toward a certain community, or is it a good mix? That's important to some families. School infrastructure. Does the school have amazing infrastructure? Is it a big school? Is it a small school? Is there a focus on sports? All that can be important as well for the child. And does the school have a specialty? So some schools are known for their cricket program. Some schools are known for their music program. Does the school have a specialty that might come into play as well? Now, a lot of these things you're going to find out when you actually go to the open days on the school. So open days are an opportunity when you actually go to the school, you interact with current students, you interact with the teachers, and you find out a little bit more about the school. For example, school infrastructure, school demographics, school specialty, all these things will be made clear to you when you go to the open days. So we highly encourage parents and children to go to open days, and that can make a big decision on your choice of school for your child. Let's talk about exam pattern and scoring for St. Olaves. The St. Olaves test is conducted in two stages. The first stage is the SET, the Selective Eligibility Test. There is two parts to this test. First test is of 60 questions. It lasts an hour and it is split into four sections. Sorry, the first stage is a 60-minute test, which is split into four sections. Section A is English, which is primarily comprised of comprehension questions as well as some other questions. Then we have mathematics, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning. These are the four sections to the test. All the tests are multiple choice only, and there are questions with two correct answers included as well. So this is something a little bit specific to very few schools. Most of them have MCQ type where only one answer is correct. But in St. Olaves, you do get questions where two answers are correct as well. And you have to mark both as your answers. Now, after the first round, 450 top candidates are going to be invited to round two. The cutoff score in 2023 was 43 marks out of 60. So if your child scored 43 or above, they are likely to have been invited to round two of the exam. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about round two as well. Now the stage two entrance test comprises of two papers, English and maths. Paper one, English, is about an hour long. It has two sections. First section is basically MCQ based. So there's a passage, you need to read that, and then you need to answer some questions. Stage two is divided into two parts again. First part is reading and creative writing. So you again get a passage. It could be a poem as well in this case. And based on your reading of that, you need to descriptively write the answer to the asked questions. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a creative writing element. Part B of section 2 is pure creative writing element. So this is where you would be asked to write a letter, to do a diary entry, etc. So this is the English section of round 2. The math section is again 1 hour long, and this will consist of questions of increasing level of difficulty. So you'll start with very easy questions, and as you go along the paper, you will face harder and harder questions. All questions are standard type. So what this means is you do not have a number of options to choose from. You actually have to write down your answer. Yeah, so that is known as standard type maths questions. Stage 2 is going to happen in November. So stage 1 happens in early September, and stage 2 is going to happen in November. Now let's look at some admission policies. So these are from the school website. So we always recommend parents look at the admission policies in detail because they contain a lot of good quality information. So there are 122 places. So this is known as the plan admission number for entry into year 7. Now the process is you have to sit for the school selective eligibility test, which contains logic, mathematics, and English questions. And the 450 top candidates are invited to second round of the exam, like we have already discussed. So the first round takes place in September, and the outcome comes in October. You will know before the SET before the CAF deadline of 31st October if your child has cleared round one. Yeah. So the boys passing SET will be invited to the second stage test in English and mathematics, like we have already discussed. These will take place before the end of the autumn term. So the round two will happen around November time. The scores will be standardized, aggregated together with the SET marks to allow a ranking of candidates. So all candidates who passed on to stage two, all the scores will be combined together and they will come out with one ranking with both SET scores as well as round two scores. Now, the priority order or the oversubscription criteria determines in what order of preference you come into the school rankings. So, first of all, I think there's a little bit of an overlap here. That shouldn't have been the case. So the first priority is given to students who have a special education needs, which can only be met by the school. So those students are given the first preference. Second preference, there are about 10 seats available to students who qualify for a free school meals. So there are up till 10 seats earmarked for them. And after that, the seats are open as per the rank order list. So all remaining seats are allocated on rank order list. And if a child doesn't get a seat allocated in the first round, then they will be put on the waiting list. And as long as the school is higher ranked than anything else you have put on the CAF form, you will remain on the waiting list. And if you're lucky enough, so the number comes to your waiting list, you will be offered admission. So I'll remove, I think there's a little bit of an overlap between two sections here. I will make sure that this gets removed and you are able to see the thing in the PPT that will come to you. Okay, so we have the oversubscription criteria here as well. Like I said, looked after boys. So these are basically boys who have been taken over by the council at some stage. So they get first preference. Then second stage 10 places to students who have been given pupil premium. So who have been eligible for free school meals at some stage. And then it's rank in the order of scores. So there is no catchment criteria for St. Olaves. It is primarily based on your performance in the exam. Yeah. Now, there is a lot of good information on what happens if there are ties in the scores. So in the event of, the scores being tied, they look at the performance in the mathematics paper first. So that is round two mathematics paper. If that is tied as well, then they will look at the creative writing element of it. If that is tied, then they will look at the English multiple choice section scores. And if that is tied again, then they will look at the SET scores. Yeah. And even if that is tied, then they are going to do a computerized random number generator to decide who gets the seat. So hopefully it will not come to that. And, your child will be getting a seat in one of the previous criteria. So like I said, there is no catchment criteria in St. Olaves. Now let's understand a few things about the exam scoring. So there are three things which we need to understand. First is the raw scores. So raw score is basically how many questions you got right. So for example, let's say the exam paper had 50 questions and you got 40 of them right, then 40 or 80% is your raw score. Yeah. So this is very easy to understand. Then we come to standardized score. Now, raw scores tell us how many questions we got right, but they do not tell us how we did in comparison to other students. So that is why a lot of grammar schools use something like standardized score. Standardized score is a measure of relative performance. So it is how your child has done relative to others in the rank. Now, in terms of score range, standardized scores generally range between 39 to 141. Yeah, so this is the general range you can find the scores falling within. The average score being 100. Then we have something called age standardized scores. So what happens is within a year group, students can have up till a year's difference in their age between the smallest child and the the child with the maximum age. So what the councils do is they give certain award to the younger students in the batch. The logic here is that the older children, they have had up till 1 year extra for brain development, etc. So that the younger children don't get disadvantaged, they are awarded certain extra points. Now, what's worth remembering is older children don't get penalized, so they don't get a negative mark. It's just that the younger children get a few extra points. And it could be, for example, a score difference of 2 to 3 standardized points. And when you're looking at the overall, range being 39 to 141, yes, it's important, but it's not the end of the world. So any child who is capable can still get through. So a lot of parents do get quite worked up over this, especially if you've got got an older child. But don't worry about it too much, and it's not in your controls anyways. So let's look at things which are within our control. Now let's. So this is a very overall, a very overall view of what topics are important within the various sections. You can get much more detailed lists than this. And if you're a part of our WhatsApp group, we will be sharing, a granular list at some point. So this is a very overall level. And like I said, you don't need to note this down. You will get a copy of this PPT and this recording as well. Yeah. Now let's look at some key dates. So the open evening is on the 27th of June, so it's not that far away. The SIF, the supplementary information form on the school website, you need to fill by the 10th of June. It opens from the 10th of June, and you need to complete it by the 1st of July. So this is not a big gap. It's just a couple of weeks, and I would urge you to do it as soon as possible. We have already had a couple of deadlines for some other grammar schools pass by, and a few parents missed those. So the deadline will come sooner than you think. So in case you are interested in this school, I would say urge you to do the form as soon as possible. The entrance test date is 20th of September, and the second round date is 15th of November. Now, two important things. This is the link to the application form on the school website. When the PPT comes to you on Monday, you'll be able to click this and go to the school website and fill out the form there. There is a form for open evening as well. So this is the page which gives you information about the open evening. Another important point is if you want to book the head teacher's talk, there is a form you need to fill, and that will put you in, that will get you a ticket to the head teacher address. So in case you want to attend this, definitely click on this link here, and it will take you to the form. Please fill that out so that you don't miss on this space. Yeah. Let's get rid of these drawings. Now, very important point, there are two forms you need to fill for St. Olaves. So you need to fill the online application form by the council, and you need to fill this supplementary information form on the school website. So there are two forms which need to be filled. If in case you miss this particular form, you will be at a big disadvantage because they will not count your scores towards the final ranking. So you need to fill both of these forms. Please make sure you do that well in time. And the SIF deadline is before the council form deadline. So the SIF deadline is 1st of July. So make sure you fill this by this deadline, and the council will send you information on the online form and the deadline for that in a few weeks as well. Now let's talk about how to prepare for the exam. These are general guidelines. So first, let's talk about theory coverage. So bond and CGP are the benchmark for books for covering theory. So we have these bond handbooks and CGP study books. So these books are very good because they take you through the theory elements first, and then they get you to do some practice as well. So these are the most standard books most students use. So these are very good, particularly if you're in year 4 and you have a lot of time to prepare. At Oxbridge, we have our intensive camps. So these are week-long camps in which we cover the full spectrum of theory, and you get lots and lots of practice of various question types. So we do these camps for all the main subjects. In a couple of slides, I'll share with you the dates of the camps. And if you are looking for a video-based course, which goes very fast and covers a broad spectrum of question types, then these camps are something to look for as well. After you've covered the theory elements, you come to the regular practice of exam style questions. So Bond and CGP have their 10-minute tests, which are quite popular in this regard. At Oxbridge Institute, we have a number of online books. We have 10-minute books, 15-minute books, and 20 minutes books, which are arranged in order of increasing duration of tests as well as difficulty of tests. So the 20-minute books are really hard. So they are meant for private and the top grammar schools like St. Olaves. So 15-minute and 20-minute books are highly recommended. Then we have these specialist books. For example, we have comparison of text by for certain, and we have poem comprehension for QE and St. Olaves. So all of these books are quite good. Then we come to regular mock exams. Now, at Oxbridge, we do offer online and physical mock exams, but not currently for St. Olaves and Kent. So we are planning to add these next year, but currently we offer online and physical mock exams for a lot of other exam boards like GL, Sutton, QE, HBS, CSSC, and FSCE. So if you are planning to go for some of these other exams as well, then we do have physical mock exams and online mock exams for that. Yeah. Now let's talk about our summer courses for a brief moment. So like I mentioned, these courses are designed as 1 week challenges. So all of these courses are 1 week long. They cover the full spectrum of theory and a lot of practice questions. And they are meant as a competition. So that really gets the students involved. And we hand out a lot of prizes at the end of the week. So just to keep the students motivated. So I would highly recommend these 4 camps, the vocabulary booster, accuracy and time management course, maths camp, and English camp. They are brand new camps which have been designed in the last 1 or 2 years, and they are very effective for top grammar schools and private schools. So have a look at these camps. Now, if you are looking at 2025, we have got a brand new prep program, which is very different from anything else in the market. So this is a trial program which we are launching this year. And if we get good response, then we'll roll it out for the complete year. So what happens in this program is every month we'll send a bundle to your home, which will contain a mixture of books and online resources. So we will give your child access to the best online resources. So this could include books from Bond, CGP, our Oxbridge books, First Past the Post. All of these books will be included as part of this package as various times during the year. We'll give you online portal access, including Atom Learning, Bond Online, iEducate, and all of our Oxbridge courses. We have started a fun magazine called 11 Plus, Professor 11 Plus. You will get a copy of that. We'll include various novels and various mock exams to do at home. Yeah. A key element of this is self-study. We'll give you enough study material for approximately 1 to 1.5 hours each day. And as long as students follow the schedule provided, we will have doubt sessions on the weekend. So any assigned material where your child is struggling, you can bring it to the doubt session and we'll try to help. We'll give you performance updates every month. So we have got a green traffic light system just to indicate if the child is doing well or if we need to go up a gear. We'll offer you full admission consulting. So in case you have doubts about passionate areas or anything which is, troubling you, we can help you with that. So this package is all inclusive, includes everything: physical mock exams, online mocks, books, special courses. It includes everything you'll need for your prep. And one very unique thing we have included is we have included a success pledge. So we understand that it's a very expensive process, 11 plus prep. And just to make sure that we are on the same side, we have included this. In case your child starts on this bundle with us and completes it with us, and your child does not get admission into their preferred schools, we will refund 50% of all the fees you have paid to us within the last year. So it's a very unique program which is designed to build confidence in your mind that your child is going to do well if they follow our guidelines. If you want to know more about this program, we have a session dedicated later in the month. I think it's on the 22nd of June. A link will be in the email that comes to you later this on Monday. Please do join that session. We'll be going into the details of this program and if this is suitable for you. So guys, with this, we come to the end of the St. Olaves section. Now let's talk a little bit about Kent Grammar School. In case you are only interested in St. Olaves, then we still have a FAQ section at the end. But let's quickly go through the Kent grammar schools as well. So there are 32 grammar schools in Kent. This is a brief, map showing where all the schools are. Uh, so this is a listing of, the Kent grammar schools. Ruchi, if you have any questions, we'll take them towards the end. So please put it in the chat. We'll have some time to, go through it in the end. Yeah. So this is a brief ranking of all the Kent grammar schools. Again, we recommend the Good School Guide. So this is from that. And we have ranked schools based on the Progress 8 scores. So this ranking continues on to page 2. So once this PPT comes to you, please have a detailed look, and the link to the website is below. So if you click on that, you will see a listing of all the grammar schools in the UK, and then you can see where the chosen school ranks. Now let's talk about exam pattern and scoring for Kent grammar schools. The Kent 11 Plus consists of 2 MCQ tests. GL assessment is the provider for these tests. The first test is a English and mathematics test of 1 hour each, of 1 hour total, I mean. There are 2 sections, 25 minutes each. So 25 minutes English, 25 minutes maths, and there is a 5 minutes of practice exercises. So you will get some sample questions which could come in the exam. And the 5-minute section is not marked, but then the 25-minute section is the marked part of the assessment. Then there's a reasoning test of 1 hour, which contains a verbal reasoning element and a non-verbal reasoning element, which includes spatial reasoning as well. After that is a creative writing task of 40 minutes. Now, interestingly, this creative writing task is not marked for all students. So this will be only marked if your child is on a borderline case, or in case there is a appeal, after the selection process, there is the appeals process. So only in those cases, this creative writing test will be marked. Again, this is the same as, we discussed in St. Olaves. This is a broad overview of the key topics in all the sections. Now let's look at key dates for the Kent exam. 3rd of June, the Kent test registration opened. So it is now live for registration. 1st July is when the registration closes. As I mentioned, it's not too far away. In case you're interested, please fill this form as soon as possible. On 2nd of September, the Kent Council will open the CAF form. So you'll be able to give your school preferences. 12th September is the Kent test for Kent primary students. And 14th to 15th September is the test for non-Kent primary school students. 17th of October is when the results are expected to be announced. And then 31st October is the deadline of the CAF. Yeah, so when you have to give your school preferences. Let's talk about the exam scoring and exam pattern. Again, this slide is very similar to what we discussed in the St. Olaves, so we won't go into this in any more detail. Let's talk about pass score for the Kent exam. The 3 sections, that is English, maths, and reasoning, are each standardized to get a score where the mean score is going to be 100. So if you get a score of 332 plus overall, as well as all single scores more than 107, then you are eligible for admission in one of the Kent grammar schools. Yeah. So let's review this again. So there are 3 sections: English, maths, and reasoning. All of these are separately standardized. So each of these would have a mean score of 100. Yeah. So if your child gets a score of 107 plus in each of these 3 sections and an overall score of 332 or more, then you are eligible for admission. Yeah. Hopefully that's clear. Now, admission policies. Since Kent is made up of so many different grammar schools, each school has its own policies. And what you need to do is you need to identify the schools you are interested in and then go to the website and look at the individual policies. Now, there are a number of criteria which individual schools may apply. For example, if you have a child who has been looked after, or so this means if council has been responsible for the child at some stage. So a lot of schools give priority to that. Actually, most schools give a priority to this. Some schools give priority if you have a sibling at the school. Some schools give priority to the distance, and some schools are faith schools, so they give preference to a certain faith. And some schools are purely academic, so they just go by the test rank. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to look at one school and look at those admission policies in detail, just to illustrate why it's really important to look at the individual school policies. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at Borden Grammar School. So, so each school has a admission policy document which looks something like this. So let's look at this particular school. Uh, Boys who have taken part in the Kent PESC, that is Procedure for Entrance into Secondary School, the Kent exam, will also be eligible for admission if they reach the required standard through the Borden assessment procedure. So this particular school takes the Kent score, but they also do their own exam called Borden assessment. So even if you don't qualify through the Kent exam, but you do really well in the Borden exam, then you are still eligible for admission. So you don't only have to fill out the Kent form, but you also need to fill out the Borden form so that you're eligible for this particular exam. Yeah. So this is something very specific to this school, and you would only come to know it if you go through the admission document. So this basically provides you with the additional opportunity in case you don't perform well in the Kent exam. So you need to register between Monday 3rd of June and 4 p.m. Monday 1st of June. So if you need to separately register for this exam from this to this date. The registration form is available on the school website from 3rd of June, so it's available now. There is no registration facility, online registration. So what you need to do is you need to actually take either the physical form. It's mentioned somewhere. So online registration is not available. So you need to contact the school and get the physical form. Yeah. The testing will take place on the 14th of September, and there are no other opportunities to take. So there is only one date when you can take this exam. So guys, I would highly encourage you to look at the school's website where you're interested in admission and look at the admission policies in a lot of detail. Since there are so many schools, it's not possible to, go into all of these in this presentation, but I would highly encourage you to have a look for yourself. So guys, a couple of final details. We have a WhatsApp group where we talk about a lot of resources, a lot of deadlines, etc. for school admission, and a lot of information about mock exams. So this is the link to the grammar school WhatsApp group. This will be clickable when you get the PPT. Please use that and join the group. If you have any queries, you can email me at sumit@oxbridgeinstitute.co.uk. And we also have a live chat feature on the website in case you have any queries. Do use this. In case nobody is there to take your chat, do leave an email and your query, and we'll get back to you. So guys, with this, we come to the end of the plan part of the presentation. In case you have any questions, please put it in the chat and we'll try to take as many as possible. Yeah. Okay, so somebody is saying St. Olaves round 2 results are going to be after the CAF deadline. So how do you know that your child will get admission? You're right. The round 2 will happen in November. So obviously the results will come after the CAF deadline. So the school will let you know in case you have cleared round 1. So obviously if you're not cleared round 1, there is no point putting the school in the CAF deadline, CAF form. In case you have cleared round 1, then your child is deemed acceptable for admission. So they are of the required standard, and all the 450 students will be put in a rank order, and students who don't get admission in the first allocation round, they will be considered on the waiting list. So all of these students are eligible for admission. And if you really want a seat at the school, I would advise that you put it on the CAF form. And if it's one of your top, desires, then put it on one of the higher ranks. Yeah, you're right. You will not know for sure if you have gotten admission, but that is because even if you don't get it in allocation round 1, you will be in the waiting list. So if you clear round 1 and you really want admission in the school, I would advise put it on the CAF form. Yeah. Any idea on what the waiting list went to last year? So for St. Olaves, the waiting list went up till 255 rank. So if you were in the top 255 ranked students out of 450, you would have gotten admission till the end. Yeah. So not in the first allocation, but in the subsequent rounds as well. The overall ranking went up till 255. Yeah. Any more questions, please, guys? Put it in the chat. Okay, somebody's asked. Can you recommend a good mock center near Kent exams at you are not doing Kent exams? This is correct. We are not doing Kent currently. Next year, we do plan to do exams in Kent itself. But we do GL style mocks, and Kent mocks are actually very similar to GL mocks. The only different element being there is a creative writing exam, which doesn't get marked unless you are on the borderline anyways. We do offer a service called at home service. So all the mocks we are doing physically, if you're not able to come to the center, you can order the mock exam to come to your home, and you can do it as per the instructions. Give us a snapshot of the answer sheet and we'll include you in the rankings. So we do offer that option. Besides that, I cannot recommend any centers because I'm not aware of, who all is doing the mock exam at that particular venue. So unfortunately, I cannot recommend. But if you are in our WhatsApp group and you specifically want recommendations for mock in Kent, you can ask the community, and I'm sure many people will be able to guide you. Yeah. Uh, Which one is better for the future, IB or GCSE? Dartford grammar is IB. That's why I'm asking. Unfortunately, I'm not the right person to answer this question. I mean, in case any parents have a view, please put it in the chat and I'll share it with you. Otherwise, you can ask in our WhatsApp group, and I'm sure some parents might have a view on this. Most of the grammar schools have a GCSE based curriculum. So that is, what is standard. I'm not really sure about IB, so I can't really answer it right now. The study material you mentioned also include teaching from your institute as well, since our son is about to take the exam in 2025. Yes, so Oxbridge Institute, we offer a lot of online books, and in the next couple of weeks, we'll be releasing our books on Amazon as well. So they will be available in print format as well if you want. Like I mentioned, the 15-minute and 20-minute test books are highly recommended for exams like St. Olaves, QE, Sutton, etc. And we have specialist books like poem comprehension and comparison of text, which is for Sutton. And these books are highly recommended as well for practice. Do you cover spatial reasoning in your GL mock? Yes, spatial reasoning does get covered in our GL mock because it does feature in exams like GL Bucks, GL Slaw, etc. So spatial reasoning is covered in our mock exams. Where will you rank difficulty levels of St. Olaves and Kent exams with respect to QE, Sutton, Tiffin's Law exams, etc.? So St. Olaves is definitely a tough exam. I would rank it at par with QE and Sutton. Kent exam is not going to be as difficult because it's based on GL pattern primarily. So it is at par with GL Bucks, Slaw, etc. So St. Olaves ranks at par with QE, Sutton. Especially, it has specialist features like poem comprehension, which is usually asked in QE and which is not common in other exams. So St. Olaves have a lot of commonality between QE, Sutton. For example, they do questions where two answers are correct. And the only other exam where I'm aware of this happens is in Sutton. So we don't cover all exams. Obviously, I'm sure other schools have this as well. So between these top exams, they have a lot of common elements with QE, Sutton, etc. And the exam difficulty is like that as well. Okay, somebody is asking what is the right time to start preparing for these schools? We recommend that you start your preparation in year 4. So year 4 and year 5, 2 years is sufficient time to prepare for these schools, including creative writing element. Now, this does not mean that you can't do anything while you are in year 2, year 3. While a child is in year 2, 3, there are a number of age appropriate books by Bond, CGP, etc., which are for key level 1, key stage 1. So have a go at those books. Reading is something to focus on a lot because a lot of students struggle with vocabulary, and forming sentences together in creative writing, which is not a problem you come across in case the child is an avid reader. So if you have a child in year 2, 3, focus on reading a lot, and that's going to help you a lot in your 11 plus prep. Yeah. So guys, this is all the questions that were asked. If you have any more burning questions, please ask, and we will take that up as well. My elder son missed the 11 plus exams for grammar. So can we go for the in-year exam and how difficult it is? Now, in-year exams are a very difficult breed. The thing is, in-year exams are different for each school. So there is no standardized process like we have for 11 plus. So what you would need to do is contact the individual schools, ask about the process, and they will let you know. Across the board, 12 plus, 13 plus exams are very different from each school. Some have elements of, language in it. Some might have geography in it. So the syllabus is not standardized across all exams as well. So that is why I recommend talk to the school, find about the process, find out about what is going to be in the particular school's exam, and, then prepare for it. So guys, thanks for attending. Like I said, if you came in through Eventbrite, we have your email. We'll send you a copy of the recording as well as the presentation. In case you have joined directly, not through Eventbrite, you have my contact details on the screen. Please drop me an email that, please add my email to the mail list, and, I'll make sure everything comes to you as well. So thanks a lot everyone for attending. This was our first information event for St. Olaves in Kent. And thanks for making it a success. Please do join our WhatsApp group, and any queries we'll love to handle there as well. Thanks a lot everyone. Bye.